And share screen, share, press play. All right, thanks for joining us today. Deb and I got another great topic here, how to create stronger connections. So we're in sales. You got to connect with people. You got to build strong connections and communicate and follow up and build and be their trusted real estate advisor and build a connection with them. So when they're ready to buy or sell, you have that connection. You have to have, many conversations and emails and texts and follow-up mailers or invitations to things and build a connection with these people so they trust you and want to use you to buy or sell a house. So we're going to go over some ideas here today, but of course, when you reach out to us directly, we can go more in detail, but we'll get started. Go ahead, Deb.
Yep. We all have busy lives right now, and it's also a tech-driven world. So a lot of times we forget about the basics, right? But when you're building a connection with someone, you have to go back to the basics on a lot of these things, because if you're sending out emails, letters, texts, and instead of calling people, then you're not really connecting with them, right? Another thing that we do in our busy lives is instead of making dinner, we order DoorDash. Everything is all about the instantaneous gratification these days, or how quickly can I get it done? I don't want to put too much energy into it. And when we're dealing with people's lives, and the biggest transactions of their lives, so to speak, we want to make sure that we are taking our time and we're doing everything that we possibly can to help them along the way. We want to be efficient by using tech products and stuff like that, but we also want to get that connection going, because when you have the connection going, that's when they will refer you to someone else, because they're going to feel not necessarily obligated, but they're going to feel a relationship brewing there, if that makes sense. It's human nature, that's what we want to do. So one of the easiest ways to do this, and this is a funny thing because a lot of people don't want to do this, but I say it to everyone, is do handwritten personal notes. You can do a thank you for anything that they have done for you, or even taking the time out of their day to talk to you. And it's not just your clients. Send personal notes to everyone, just thinking of you notes. Send notes in the holidays. They show that you care about people. If you sat there and wrote a personal note and not type something out and just mass copied it, you took time to think about that person. So when you're sitting there and you're writing your personal note, make sure that you have no distractions going on so you can think about what you want to say in a short little note to that specific person. It means the world to them when they open it up. Do you agree?
Oh, definitely agree. And also, example, too many times I think agents get to the point where they have so many people that or not organized enough sending holiday cards or birthday cards or anything like that. So, example, if you have 365 people on your database and or couples and you get their birth dates, hopefully you get to that point where you have that many people on your database where you're that close to enough or close to enough where you call them, where do you mind, what's your birth date? So you have their birth dates on there, so or find it on Facebook or whatever. And in theory, that's one card on average a day.
Yeah.
Or you just, you send out a card, a handwritten note, happy birthday. So at least they get it once a year. Or if you're calling people up, making 4 or 5 phone calls a day to your database, leaving them messages. As soon as you're done leaving the message, write a personal note. Hey, just left you a message today, was thinking about you, keep me in mind. And some people say, well, they might call me right back. Well, when you call you right back, hey, well, I just wasn't sure if you were going to call me back. I just mailed you a letter just to say hi. So look for that, or I left you a message. So If you have 365 people in your database and you talk to them 4 times a year and four mailers a year, that's 4 phone calls a day and 4 handwritten notes, and you'll get them out you'll talk to 365 people 4 times a year. It's easy as that. 4 phone calls, 4 letters. And in the letter, how much is a stamp now, Deb? I was looking that up. I don't even know the stamp.
Oh, they're
Where are
getting
they
up there,
now?
but it's still
It's
worth
up
it.
there
It's
now, but
still worth it. Have it in your marketing
But
budget.
in theory, if you send out 4 a day, I know I get my Dunkin' Donuts coffee. 4 stamps a day is still cheaper than a Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Sure is.
So,
Yep.
so send out 4 notes a day, spend that like you do with your coffee. But if you have 365 people that you're sending out cards to and trying to write them all on holidays, that they're getting those, all their other holiday cards from other people. If you send it just to on a random Tuesday, they're really going to read that. Or
Yep.
in birthdays, maybe even send it, the beginning of the month, or before everybody else, things like that.
And by the way, those personal notes, you can find all kinds of different options on Express Docs, and then it's branded with your stuff on it too. So it's a 2-for-1 kind of thing, right? And
Yeah.
this goes into what he was already talking about. Pick up the phone and call them. Do just a check-in, or hey, did you know about this that was going on or that was going on? Or ask them to go out for a cup of coffee. Or a smoothie if that's your gig, some stuff like that. Just a quick little get together. Hello, I missed you. Um, did you know about how to do credit repair? Or from time to time, I get information on credit repair, or I get information on mortgage rates, or I get information on fixing up your house and stuff. Do you want this stuff? If you want it, I'd be happy to send it to you. Give me your address. That is a great way to build your book of business, is by just picking up the phone, talking about a few things. Don't want to take up too much of your time. I just was thinking about you and wanted to say hello. You know, it's a great way to connect with people, is talking to them on the phone.
Exactly.
Answer questions honestly. So when people are talking, sometimes they just give a one-word answer or a short cryptic answer because they're rush, 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 and they're busy. If you are sitting down, or not necessarily sitting down, but if you're thinking about what that person actually asks you and you answer honestly, they're going to know that you are paying attention to what they are saying. And it's very important for us to pay attention to people and what they are actually saying, instead of just giving curt little one answer questions, or one word questions to their answers and stuff. It makes you more approachable when you're doing things like that. Sometimes I'm definitely the person that you could say is guilty of this. I over explain everything, but I do that because I want you to know that I heard what you said, and I want to give you the reasons why you should do what you should do, instead of just saying, yes, do that. No, don't do that. They might think, but why? Why am I doing this? Why are you not explaining to me why I have to do it a certain way, or why someone can't do something, or something like that. And if you're honest about it and maybe you don't know the answer because you're brand new, be honest about it and say, you know what, I'm not really sure about that right now, but I have people that I can contact within a moment's notice. I got a bat line if you're with Century 21 Homestar, and I can get that answer and get right back to you. And make sure you do that. Get right back to them. Anyone that works with Homestar knows that they are a text message away from an answer.
Exactly. And I say that to agents almost every day, is to say, remember, just have that when you have your clients, your buyers, your sellers, prospects, if they have a question and you're not sure on, you have that verbiage, that rebuttal right away of how you want to say it. So be ready with that. Be ready with, hey, so something like, I'm not, I know the answer to your question, but I just want to double check with my manager or broker right now and just make sure I give you the complete 100% start to finish answer on that. So something that you're ready, you should be ready with that type of verbiage on for any ones. And even agents that are experienced. Debbie and I talk to agents every day that have been in the business 10, 15, 20 years, and they still have questions or just how to say things or do things. So it's not just new agents, it's just what you want, or just want another way of checking on things. So it's always good.
Yep, definitely. Ask interesting and meaningful questions. It helps find their motivation and it creates a connection. So it doesn't matter if it's real estate related or if it's just life in general. If you're trying to connect with somebody, ask questions. Ask questions about what's
Right.
going on in their life. Ask questions about something that has happened to them recently, things like that. And be sincere about what you're talking about. It also help if you're talking about real estate, you want to know what their motivation is to sell their home. You want to know what their motivation is to why they're buying a house there. The more we connect with people, the more that they're going to work with you. And this is really, really important because now buyers and sellers alike are all going to be under contract with an agent to sell houses and to purchase houses. So get out of the immediate, quick, I just want to do this. I don't care about procedures and stuff like that. Let's just do it. Take a step back with your person and say, I totally understand that you're in a hurry for this, but we should sit down and have a discussion about what really motivates you for this particular property and such like that, which is going to open up the door for you to do your buyer presentation so you can get the documents needed to be signed and also talk about your buyer's representation agreement.
Yeah, and one other thing, one lesson I learned early on was I first got my real estate license. I had someone refer me to some people that were selling some of their properties off, just selling off. They had a bunch of investment properties and they were selling some of them off. And I was in my 20s, so I wasn't asking questions. I was just happy I'd get a listing appointment and went into this listing appointment like, oh, thinking that these people are selling these properties because they're happy and they want to just move on in life or whatever they were. But it was a sad situation. And I never asked the question. I just was in there doing the work. Okay, that's great. Let's get these on the market. Let's do this. And the person who gave me the referral called me the next day and said they were so upset with me because I was so happy. They were mad that I was happy. I was just thought that some, hey, how you doing? Trying to be their best friend and all of that. And they were asking normal. They weren't, I didn't ask any questions, and they weren't the type of people telling me, but they were telling me I found out later where they were selling these properties because they were in a very bad financial position and they needed to get rid of properties that were in their family for decades, and they're upset they had to sell them. And I was coming in, goofy salesman, that being happy, and it was not a happy moment because I didn't ask questions. When I walked in, I didn't ask questions of why you're selling, how can I help you? I was just doing the job. So, I learned really fast. You should ask questions of where people are, what their needs and wants are, or mentally where they're at, emotionally where they're at before you come out and do your same spiel that you have on everybody else. So
Right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a spiel or being happy and stuff like that, but you also have to take a cue from your client's mood as well,
right.
because when they are in that sad sort, you need to commiserate with them and still be able to get the job done. That thing.
Exactly.
But sometimes, that also is something that you need to know as an agent because have they gone through bankruptcy? Is that going to be an issue with these
Right.
properties? If there was a death in the family, that is a really, really sad thing. But is that going to be an issue when you're trying to sell the properties and stuff? So all of those also get you to your end result.
And videos.
Turn the video
FaceTime.
on. Yeah. So I started doing this when we first started doing these videos. I did not have my video on. I did not want my face on there. You just saw my little picture and I got over it. So I'm telling all of you guys, get over it, right? Make sure
Yeah.
your video is on when you're talking to people because it
But
shows you're present and interested in the conversation.
yeah, my suggestion is to ask people, especially when you're first starting out with people, Would you like, especially if you're having a phone interview or talking with buyers or potential sellers before you meet, said, would you like to do a video, or do you just talk on the phone and then meet in person, or what? And just see how they want to. My suggestion is, my opinion, is every once in a while, probably once, twice a week, I get someone calling me on FaceTime. And, me personally, I'm like, yeah, I like to do FaceTime, but let me know before that. It's kind of like walking in my house without, knocking.
Yes.
No, just like I'm driving, or, might be I'm not ready, or just not ready for FaceTime or whatever. But yeah, you could ask people, because again, I take this slide as being more, ask people how they like to communicate, and video could be one of them. Remember, you're your product. You personally are. So ask people if they want a video meeting or conversation. And I think more and more people are doing that, because I see more and more people, even my own kids, sometimes FaceTiming me more than normal. And I see people on the street talking to people through FaceTime all the time. That's what they do. They might do that with their friends and family. And again, you want to build a connection with them. So you want to be on that friend and family list that they can video,
Yes. That
and
is a
feel
perfect way to
comfortable, if
say it.
they, yeah, if they are comfortable with it. So.
Yeah, and here's the other thing with that, turn the video on. If you're dealing with someone who is not in the city that you live in, you want to make sure that tell them to turn their video on so that you can see who you're speaking to. You want to make sure you get that driver's license and that it matches their pre-approval or proof of funds too. You have to know who you're talking to.
Oh yeah, no,
Okay,
I had
so
this. I had an agent last week. Just one of those. Hey, someone wants to put an offer on my listing. They live out of town. I go, make sure you do a Zoom, and so just so you could see their face and who they are. And I said, I have a feeling they're not going to want to do a Zoom or a FaceTime. And she called back and said, nope, they don't. We go, then don't deal with them. You know.
perfect. Yep. That is your number one thing
They're
right
like, if
there.
they don't want to do a Zoom with you, they probably don't want their face to be known on the deal, or they're a scammer, or they're just someone. So if they're not serious enough that I could make a record of you, I don't need your drive. If I don't get your driver's license or some type of idea who you are, or they could send you anything. It's just anybody that you can't meet in person, you should have some type of video with them. My opinion. So.
Yep, absolutely. So this one I thought was really cute. Get the scoop on your home value. If you can get a hold of a local ice cream shop and see if you can get gift cards for them, you can give them out to people with your business card, make a little tag here.
Or just free
Etsy is really
coupons.
good to make tags. I'm sorry, what?
I would say, or free coupons.
Or a free coupon. Yeah.
Yeah, some people go into like, well, I don't want to pay any money. Well, just go in there. So can I mail out free? Do you have any coupons? And most small businesses will go, yeah, I have a coupon here. If you're going to do it for free, there's like a bunch, buy one, get one half off, or,
Yeah.
or some type of advertisement, some flyer or something, any small business will be happy to give you something.
Yep. It boosts their business and it boosts yours as well. You can get a lot of really good tags from Etsy. So this weekend on Saturday morning is Top 10 Secrets with Working with Buyers with Mike Ferrante. That's going to be a good one. Hash is going to be doing the buyer broker agreements on July 11th. We have civil rights in August, and credit score and fixing credit in September. And then, of course, I think in October it's going to be something spooky with Hash, I'm sure. So,
Right. And the year's half over. So wow, it's crazy.
yeah, amazing, isn't it?
Alrighty. So remember, reach out to Debbie or myself. We're always happy to connect with you. And if you want to talk to me for a long period of time, I stress this again. If you need me because you're working on a deal, you just text me or call me. We'll work on it. But if you want to sit down, talk about agency or the new changes, like a 20-minute conversation on something that's not something you're working on now, tonytalk.net, get on my calendar, and you could put in the topic that you want, so I know what you want to talk about. But again, don't have to just use that. So,
Yep. Yep. And if you want to
and
get on my calendar, you can always call the office. The girls have access to it. It's better to do that than to try and do it through the text line, because sometimes when uh, multiple people are trying to get into the same thing, you might get booted out. So always give us a call if you want to get on my calendar, because like I said, the girls do have access to it too. So you don't have to wait for me. They can put you in anytime.
Perfect. Well, thanks for joining us today, everyone. Thanks for all your hard work, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.